Okay, welcome back, creatures of the night, for a very special tag team podcast as Alex Doriot from Talking Taker fame joins me, Steven Zeman from Collecting Dead Man, as we join up once again for a very special look back at one of my favorite Undertaker documentaries, the one that really solidified my fandom of The Undertaker, The Dead Man, The Phenom, the VHS. And I want to thank you, Alex, for joining me here today. And how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Excited to bring the multiverse of Undertaker podcasts together again here on Collecting Dead Man podcast. I actually saw, checking my Time Hop app, and apparently we did, me and you did a Buried Alive match, the inaugural Buried Alive match watch along 1 year ago. I think it was yesterday. So we
Wow.
recorded that. So it's worked out kind of perfectly.
As is perfectly. I was thinking about, what? We did that Buried Alive one. I must be almost close to a year now. And then look at that.
Yep. 1 year ago this week.
Couldn't be even more perfect. And we get clips from that very same match in this documentary. So
exactly.
It's the universe telling us it was the right time to do it.
It was time to bring it back together. You're right.
It really was. So before we get started on rewatching the Phenom documentary, what are your memories of this, if you have any? Did you watch this growing up?
Well, Steven, I'm going to make a confession for you.
Yes.
This is going to be my first ever viewing in full of the Phenom documentary. Yes, it is. So I got my copy of it here. We just talked about it right before we went on air.
Mm-hmm.
You brought this idea up, and so I picked up a copy on eBay. I think it was, I think I did $3.99 plus shipping, so it was like $7.99. I mean,
such a deal.
Love it. I love a deal. And I am big into VHS. Talking Taker, we just did a Coliseum home video episode a couple weeks ago. VHS, I'm a few years older than you, so VHS is like for sure my era. I've kind of been walking the tightrope of starting a Coliseum video completist collection, the WWF home videos, and I have a good collection. I'm still a long ways away from completion, but I've been starting to get some more on eBay because you can get some pretty cheap. There are some of the rarer ones get pretty pricey. But anyway, this one actually, comes after the Coliseum video days. You can see there, it's the WWF home video. So they've changed the licensing around. And what I liked about the old school WWF videos was getting all the old, rare, original matches, stuff you couldn't see on TV. So to me, at 12 years old, when this video came out, I didn't feel any reason to see it. I've already seen WrestleMania 14. I've already seen the Buried Alive match. I don't necessarily need to go back and watch it again. And I've talked about on our show before, Undertaker was not necessarily my guy. I liked him, but he wasn't my guy back at this period of time. So this wasn't like a huge deal to me to go out and rent this video. I did watch a little bit of it around in Talking Taker time when we were covering 1998. I watched some clips of it, but I've never seen the whole thing in full. So I'm excited to watch it. I'm glad you invited me to do it, and I guess it was a big part of you becoming a fan.
It really was. In my collection, I should have brought it out for today, but I rebought just recently. The thing that I got as a kid, it was the thing that they would send you for ordering a pay-per-view. They would send you in the mail, anything, it could be a license plate cover, it could be an action figure, it could be a VHS. And it just so happens we ordered a pay-per-view and they sent us that. So I have the thing that they shipped in for the people that got it in the mail, the VHS sealed. Because I remember getting that for ordering a pay-per-view. I can't even tell you which one it was. Maybe Over the Edge.
Yeah.
1999. And I said, well, you know what? Let me watch this because I'm just growing into my fandom of The Undertaker. There's no YouTube or anything before this. So everything I didn't see, there was no way of seeing. So I popped this in and I got to see everything. I got to see the Buried Alive, the Hell in the Cell, the debut of Kane, WrestleMania, the Inferno match, everything leading up to his, formation of the Ministry and where I was, with him crucifying Austin. So it ends like perfectly right there. And I wore out that VHS as a kid. every single time that I can get my parents to allow me to watch that VHS, take up the TV, because one living room TV, one VHS
Right.
player.
Of course.
I had, I want to take it up watching, the VHS of The Undertaker for like the 20th time probably that week.
Yep.
And it's just like, the visuals, as we see the intro from Freddie Blassie, the outro from Freddie Blassie and Stephanie McMahon. It's just so iconic to my childhood and just growing more of appreciation for those matches. And that's why I've always loved this documentary for that reason. It was the one that pushed my fandom more and more towards him.
Well, I love that because like I said, I was not the audience for it, but you clearly were. So for a new fan who was just jumping in 1999 that missed a lot of this stuff, this is perfect. This gets you caught up to speed. This draws you into it, and I love that. That's exactly what it's for.
Yeah, it's something that they don't need to do it now. They have they had the network. They have Peacock.
Right.
Anybody who wants to see anything from 15, 20 plus years ago, they can.
And it's not on Peacock, as we have discussed.
This is not on Peacock.
We're having to go to a bootleg copy of it,
right?
Which is a shame. Like you said, these matches are available on there, but this presentation, the music, the editing, all that sort of stuff. I don't understand why they don't just upload everything as much as they can on there. Exactly. There's so much stuff they're just sitting on.
Yeah, they have his deadliest matches. They have like something from 93 and 94, but they don't have this. And it's like, oh, come on.
Yep. Missing in action.
We are. So I think we built this up so much. So I think we shall get started. How about you?
It.
Perfect.
I'm ready.
So, we have on Daily Motion Undertaker the Phenom, uploaded 9 years ago from RKO Rated R. So that's
I'm surprised it's still staying up on there.
Well, 9 years. I hope it stays up for the next 58 minutes.
That's all we need.
Because that's all we need. So I say we count it down as always. 3, 2, 1, play.
So someone in the UK must have uploaded this because we're getting the Silver Vision promo before we start here, which was the video distributing company in the UK for the WWE.
Yeah. Enfield, Middlesex, England. Look at that.
Well, there you go. I wonder if that address still works. I wonder if I could still write a letter to them.
You know what? Go for it. Maybe
they'll send me a free gift.
Maybe it'd be a different business nowadays.
It could be. And of course, telling us not to try this at home, which I disobeyed all the time.
Oh, who didn't disobey? I mean, come on. Who didn't perform choke slams on their best friend and stuff like that?
You had to. You had to.
Stone Cold Stunners. I mean,
Stone Cold Stunners all day. Yeah.
Rock bottoms, of course.
Steel chair shots to the head.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Hey, I didn't quite do that much.
I don't think I could lift a steel chair at 8 or 10 years old.
Now this brings me back. This is nostalgic right here. The signature before the show, the Attitude signature. And this is, like you said, this classy Freddie Blassie doing a little intro here. He always gave so much, gravitas. His voice.
And this is like the resurgence of Freddie Blassie. It's like when he had that WrestleMania promo with him and all those old legends. You had him on the other VHSs promoting pay-per-views. Oh,
he did so many pay-per-view intros around this time. Yeah, and it was always great. Always brought you in.
It's a resurgence of Freddie Blassie, and his voice for this, I always remember it.
And this is pretty neat. They're like showing an actual orchestra playing that 98 version of Taker's theme with the strings and everything. And it looks like they're like watching his Titantron videos.
Yeah, isn't that? I love that. I love that detail, especially.
It's pretty cool.
At the end of it, it's even better, and I can't wait.
All right.
Don't want to give too much away.
I know, no, don't spoil it. I haven't seen it yet. This is new to me. sighting of Hulk Hogan on a VHS in 1998. That's kind of surprising. WWF showing him, but they're showing him because he's getting beaten by the Undertaker.
He's getting a tombstone.
He's getting a tombstone. And yeah, this Mankind feud, man, I remember this episode of Monday Night Raw. It was shocking to see Mankind give an Undertaker the mandible claw. It blew my mind.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, because he'd never really been beaten down like that before.
Mm-hmm. It's even more shocking that, they really just wanted him for like a one-off match.
Yep, exactly.
They were going to have Undertaker beat him at King of the Ring, and that would have been it. All the other stuff we would have been cheated out of. Can you imagine that?
Oh my gosh. I mean, and not just with Undertaker, but just like so much of his career. I mean, he's an all-time legend.
Mm-hmm.
So the Boiler Room Brawl. What are your did you and Randy, y'all just covered this fairly recently, right? I feel like I listened to that. Yeah.
The last month's episode, that's when we donned our greatest Undertaker hats and gloves.
That's right. Yes.
It was I told them about that. The VHS here that we're watching made the match seem more epic than we watching the full thing.
Yeah.
I felt like it was slower. I felt like it was slower paced, not a lot of big spots. You had like the ones with the ladders and the stuff like that in like splurts. It didn't, until it got out of the Boiler Room, then it was more interesting.
Yeah, I appreciate it because of how unique it is and how different it was than anything else that was on TV at the time. Like, growing up, just watching WWF, I really hadn't seen any ECW up to this point in 96. So like all this backstage fighting was pretty surreal to me. And you see the other guy, you see Goldust standing back there and all these other guys. It makes it feel real.
Mm-hmm. It's like the first real glimpse into like a cinematic style match.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's ahead of its time.
Yeah, like we said, we feel bad for the audience. You have 4 little small monitors.
The substitute teacher movie TVs.
And if you're way in the back, you're screwed.
You got those binoculars. Just like, I think that's Mick Foley. I'm not sure.
It could be.
It might be Duke the Dumpster Drosy. I really can't tell.
You're just looking for like a little dots of purple. Oh, there's Undertaker.
And I've got my Jack's Series 1 Undertaker right there.
Nice.
To represent this. His final, well, not his final match in the purple. He's got a couple more matches in the purple, but getting close to the end of that time.
Getting close, yeah. He's got to be buried first.
Yep. And absolutely shocking moment here. Never thought you'd see Paul Bearer turn his back on Taker.
Randy and I discussed it. Do you think this was a good time to break them up?
I do. It's one of those things like I never would have thought of, but it ended up being great for both of them. Mm-hmm. It adds a lot to Paul Bearer. It gives a rub to Mankind. It brings Kane into this territory as well. Yeah. If I was booking things, I would have never turned Hulk Hogan heel, but I would have been too scared to do that, to break up, to do that. And so I just would never have that creativity to think that way. So it's a good thing that they did it, I think.
Yeah. That's my reasoning was it was a good catalyst to shoot things forward. You had shoot Undertaker forward and brought in all these other different threats to him. You had Vader, Mankind, Kane, all under Paul Bearer. So I it's a better time than any.
And you want to do it before it's too stale too. You want to do it where there's still an impact on it. Like, I think that's why when the Shield broke up, I thought that was great timing because no one saw it coming. No one was expecting
to do it.
And that's exactly when you need to do it. When people don't see it coming, when it's still kind of hot.
Yeah. Undertaker was on his way to changing up his style of his gear, his attire.
And he's changing up his in-ring style. Just did a dive off the top rope onto Mankind here as we're looking at the Buried Alive match now. That was awesome.
The one we covered about a year ago.
Yes, that's it. And I love this match. I have loved it more and more the older I get and the more I rewatch it. It's another one. I don't think I got it quite as much as a kid, but rewatching it now, man, again, it was ahead of its time.
So ahead of its time. I can't even imagine what got into thinking, let's build a grave pit.
A graveyard.
In the arena.
In the arena.
But make sure they don't suffocate when buried alive.
Yeah, it's still one of those things I'd love to know. I'd love to sit down with Bruce Pritchard or whoever and ask him all the exact details about how they made this work. And Mankind's taken some insane bumps here.
And just even look at something, just even look at the entranceway. It's like a cemetery. It's so cool what they thought of for this.
And I think it's really neat that there's no titles on the line here. It's just Undertaker and Mankind. They're kind of bigger than the world title program at this time.
Yeah, I mean, already Undertaker's bigger than the title.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, do you prefer, when you think of Mankind, do you think of this Mankind or do you think of suit and tie corporate Mankind? Like, what's the first thing that comes to your head?
Well, see, growing up, Mankind was, corporate Mankind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. But, going back and seeing so much what he's done with Undertaker, I can't help but think of Brown Mankind.
Yeah.
But I think if I would say Mankind, it would be the suit and tie, the shirt and tie.
I agree with you. I think that's more iconic. And he's got
that's
the
Hell in
Mr.
a Cell. That's
Sacco,
the Hell in a Cell Mankind.
Yep.
That's, Vince and the Hardcore Championship Mankind.
Oh, and there is the legendary Executioner.
Legendary, the elusive Executioner figure from the Buried Alive pack.
Hey, if you're gonna have an Undertaker opponents collection, you got to have an Executioner figure.
Gotta have an Executioner.
The one and only. I got to mention, I got to meet Mick Foley about a month ago.
I saw.
And my daughter did as well. He was doing a signing here in Greenville.
How was that?
It was awesome. It was super nice. It's just a signing. So, you talk to him for a minute and move on. But yeah, he was super cool. He did an autograph of his, I have a Christmas story read by him on a vinyl record. Oh. I got that a few years ago. And he signed it to my daughter. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. Did you get a chance to mention anything Undertaker to him?
I just told him take her easy when we walked away from it, Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I love that shot. Taker.
You said
raising his hands up.
You said it to Taker himself and you said it to Mankind.
And I said it to Mankind. Yep. We'll see who else we can say it to.
Yeah. Who else? Oh yeah, that shot of him with bursting the lights,
lifting his hands up. Yeah, the pyro going up. It's awesome.
His silhouette is so good.
Yeah,
everything.
Oh yeah, so many great shots of that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the construction of the original Hell in a Cell. Yeah, Bad Blood '97.
Just so many ideas and visionary matches back to back to back. Boiler Room, Buried Alive, Hell in a Cell. All because of the Undertaker character giving us all these matches that they're just thinking of because of him. Yep.
And not all of them have hung around, but I mean, think about it. They still do a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view every single year. It's still a huge money maker for the company. And why is that? It's because of Shawn Michaels and it's because of the Undertaker, because they put it on the map with this match. If this match would have sucked, that's Hell in a Cell would have gone away, like the Punjabi prison or something.
Oh. But we don't need to bring up Big Show Undertaker.
Hey, you and Randy are gonna have to get to it sometime.
Oh my God, that's right. Well, at least it's a one and done thing.
It's a one and done for Taker. Yeah, thankfully.
And at least it's Big Show and not Great Khali.
That cracks me up. The match is invented for Great Khali.
Yeah, but he's got elevated liver enzymes. Stop. Oh my God, it's crazy.
Just man, this match, Travis and I on Talking Taker, we both ranked it our #1 Undertaker pay-per-view match of all time.
I know you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong with any Undertaker match being your #1. You can make a case for any of it.
Yeah, and I think most people would probably say the WrestleMania matches with Shawn would be up there, but just the storytelling, man, the whole build up to this one and the payoff and the brutality of it.
Yeah,
man, something about it just sticks with us.
And then Kane.
And that's what I mean, is storytelling. Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, it's a good match.
Oh, the Hell in a Cell with Mankind, of course, took it to another level. But
Oh,
you got to think back,
sure.
watching this first one, how insane it was to see these two guys on top of the cell, fighting on top of the cell. I mean, it's unheard of.
It was.
I love those tights on Sean too. I like the black and silver look on him. I dig that.
Yeah. It's just crazy to think when he did that back body drop, what would have happened if that cage would have fell in?
Woo!
Oh my God.
Yeah, R.I.P. Sean.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. What a way to go out, though.
And another great visual, the blood just pouring down his face so perfectly here, and
Yeah.
vicious chair shot. There it is. That's gotta be Kane.
Gotta be Kane.
What
It's
do you
like
think?
that's the iconic Vince call.
It is. I think it is. I think that's the best
Yeah.
Vince call probably ever.
Yeah.
You think Kane's debut is best debut of all time?
I mean, it's up there. It really is.
I mean, Undertaker had a great one too, but I mean, just
Yeah.
the impact immediately of Kane.
Yeah. I mean,
it's hard to argue against that.
I mean, for character, the issuing of a character, Undertaker really is a great debut.
It's iconic.
But just the impact is definitely Kane. Because it's not even he's not in a match. He's just
Right.
making an impact for the match, furthering along a story. I mean,
And Undertaker, he came
that
out of
visual
nowhere.
ripping off the door.
Yes. Kane, you'd had all this months and months of build up to, I don't know.
Yeah, it is a great one.
The casket. This is great. This is a great recap that's going to suck you in to Undertaker's telling you the story of his biggest matches here. Because really up until that Mankind feud, he hadn't had, I mean, he was a legendary character. He hadn't quite had like legendary feuds. I mean, you could say the Yokozuna feud a little bit, but I mean, do you want to watch a recap video of Undertaker versus Mabel? No, there's not as much story there. Or Undertaker versus King Kong Bundy or Giant Gonzalez. No, there's not as much story there. But the Mankind feud is what took him to another level.
He really had a great 96.
He did. Yeah, that put him on a map in a different level.
With Bret Hart at the Rumble and Diesel at WrestleMania. I think that Diesel match was really the stepping stone to better WrestleMania matches. He had a good one. That Diesel one really shot it.
Yep, that was his first good one.
Yeah. Yep. All the rest, Bundy, Gonzalez. Oh my God.
It's rough.
Oh, McMahon's lucky he stayed around for.
Exactly. He just kept feeding him all that crap.
Oh my God. You got China now.
And more just iconic, instantly memorable stuff. That choke on Shawn Michaels right there. You see that in video packages all the time.
Yeah. Ever since '97, Undertaker's always been involved with Kane, Michaels, and Triple H.
You can't get away from them.
Can't
They're
get away from
intertwined,
any
man.
of them.
And dude, if you go back and watch these episodes of Raw, the crowd reactions for this stuff is off the charts.
Right.
This right here, when Kane does the pose to Taker, and Taker returns it, the roof blew off this place.
You can even hear it through this.
Yeah.
Just it's toned down a little for the music, but you can still hear the crowd.
Oh my goodness.
It's crazy.
So yeah, Royal Rumble 98 casket match. Another good match, though. Like, people always talk about the Hell in a Cell or the WrestleMania matches, and people remember this because it's the match where Shawn breaks his back. But I mean, besides that, it's a really good casket match.
Yeah. And you have Shawn in red that,
great gear.
Yeah, greatly puts himself away from all black and Undertaker.
That's a good point. And Shawn is bumping like a madman for Taker. All over the place. into the stairs.
Oh,
And that's a nasty shot right there. Pile driver onto the stairs on
right.
Taker. Can't believe he took that. DX, I mean, we all sort of kind of remember them as the baby faces and doing spray paint and all that sort of stuff, but they were masterful heels during this time.
Yeah. Yeah, because after Taker, they go up against Austin.
Oh, yeah, and you hated them. They were so
Yeah.
obnoxious.
And just 4 years earlier, Undertaker did this with Yokozuna,
Woo!
almost, with the both in the
They did, both.
and then all those heels coming out to help them. So it's
Yep.
like a real good harken back to that.
Yep, it's a throwback to that. Yoko wasn't quite bumping like Shawn is.
Well, no, I mean,
Jumping tombstone into the casket.
right.
Oh my goodness.
I can only imagine what that did to his knees on that one.
Woo. Yeah. So random. Of course, DX coming in, but then also Los Boricuas.
I mean, just pull it. McMahon's just pulling everybody he can see in sight.
Now, does that mean I need Los Boricuas figures for the Undertaker opponent collection?
That's totally up to you.
I could get some customs maybe. I do have a Savio because he was on Taker's team at
That's
Survivor
right.
Series
That's right.
95. So I do have that one.
You can have Savio be the good representation of it.
I think, yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I wonder how much they paid the fire inspector to go along with this one.
Lord. They definitely gave him a little extra in the handshake. Right there.
I would say. Yeah, we're gonna set a casket on fire. It's gonna be, a good amount of flame. But just here's a couple grand. Just look the other way.
I love that King on commentary. They're just pouring gasoline on this casket, and King's like, "What are they doing? What are they doing with this gasoline?
What do they think they're gonna do?
What could it possibly be, King?"
Yeah. I just love this promo here that sets up the match.
Oh, it's
This
so
whooping
good.
casket, him walking through the flames.
And he's got the Britney Spears mic.
Right. He brings it back. He brings it all back.
Yep. Now, Travis and I have talked about this before, but you'll probably agree. You think about WrestleMania 14, everybody talks about it being all about Austin and Michaels and Tyson. And yeah, I mean, that's one reason why I wanted to watch it. But I wanted to watch it because Undertaker and Kane too.
Yeah.
Those were both main event matches to me. And I wanted to see these guys finally face off because they had never faced off before.
Right.
They did a great job of keeping them apart. They didn't really have much physical interaction. They, of course, didn't have any matches against each other. So WrestleMania 14, that was the first time you got to see these guys come to blows against each other. And that was a selling point for me.
It was. I would imagine. Oh, I would, of course, if I was a fan by then, of course, you would order it for Undertaker and Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's not for the title. It doesn't have to be though. They don't need it. Are we going to see Pete Rose here? Got Kane coming out here at WrestleMania 14.
Yeah, I mean, they built this thing up for months. Built up much longer than Austin Michaels. So people just waiting for it.
Oh, they edit Pete Rose out. Too bad.
Ah, well.
Right here. Now, this is my number one Undertaker entrance of all time. This is my absolute favorite. WrestleMania 14, represented in the Ultimate figure.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
It is so good. It is so good.
I can't remember what I listened to your episode, but what did you rank as your top dead man entrance?
My top one is the one against CM Punk.
Okay, that's a great one.
With him coming through the souls.
Yeah, I think that was my number 2 or 3. Yeah.
And I think this one is 2 for me.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
it's
one.
so good. The whole, I mean, you don't get just 10 druids, you get a whole line of druids.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And we actually interviewed one of these druids on Talking
Really?
Taker.
Nice.
We
I must have missed that one.
yeah, we had watch along Tommy, a friend of the show. He said he knew a guy who was one of the druids here at WrestleMania 98. So he told us a little.
He Kevin Bacon the druid.
He did Kevin Bacon to druid. Yeah, 6 degrees of separation. I think he's like second or third on the left or something like that. He's a real short one. But yeah, he just said he's like a local indie guy around that time, and he was backstage, looking for extra work or whatever. And he was trained by Killer Kowalski, so he had a little connection with Triple H from that. So that's the area that they were in for the show. And Vince was like walking around, was like, "We need some druids. We need some druids. Put up.
We need some druids, pal.
Grab a robe." And there was no rehearsal either. They just told him what to do, put the robe on him, gave him the torch, and said, "Just stand
here,
stand in the line.
And whatever you do, do not set the Undertaker on fire."
Don't set the Undertaker on fire.
Wow, I can't believe it. No rehearsal.
No, nothing. And nowadays they would rehearse this 20 times probably.
Oh yeah, they'd be rehearsing it up to game day.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I love the lightning and the thunder, and oh man, this is great.
I mean, it's so iconic. They still use it to this day.
Yep. And beautiful robe.
Yeah.
Two brothers about to collide.
JR is always so good.
It's the best of all time.
You can literally pick anything out of JR saying stuff, and it just fits so perfectly in like a video package.
He makes it work. Exactly. And this is such a simple story when you get to the root of it. Of course, there's all the supernatural stuff and the funeral home and the fire and the dead parents and all that stuff. But when you get down to it, it's a sibling rivalry. Man, it's brother versus brother. One guy doesn't want to fight the other one. The younger brother wants to prove himself. And ultimately, that's what this really is. And that's why it works so well.
Because if you have an older brother, you have a younger brother, you see yourself in one of them.
You understand it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, you didn't see so much, and it's cliche to say, but you didn't see so much these guys who could take it to Undertaker like Kane was able to here.
Yeah. Because, before Kane, he had Michaels who defeated Undertaker with help from Kane.
Right.
Because, you couldn't really, you can't picture Shawn Michaels beating the Undertaker. So he
always, even when he won, he got the crap beat out of him.
Exactly.
Hell in a Cell, Royal Rumble, he got the crap beat out of him, but he still snuck away with a win.
Yeah. And that's usually when Undertaker would lose to people, that's what would happen. You interfere on the other person's behalf.
Exactly. Right. Some sort of shenanigans going on.
Yeah. That dive with him just picking up and just tossing. Oh my God.
Into the table. And of course, we saw him do this so many times throughout his career, but it was still pretty new to see him do that giant dive back at this time. It wasn't the first time he did it, but look at the Spanish announcer. Look at him sell it. Fall out of his chair. I love it. All right. King said for 28 years, Kane has dreamed of this moment. So Kane is Kane 28, or was the fire 28 years ago? What are they saying there?
That's a good one. Because, when he's, the fire could have been 28.
Okay. I can't remember how old they were supposed to be when the fire happened.
I think 5.
Okay. All right.
I think
And
five.
JR, of course, says no one has ever kicked out of the tombstone before, which is not true, but you go with it.
I think Hogan did, didn't he?
Hogan did, Warrior did,
Okay.
a handful of people in the early days. So we'll let it slide.
Well, that's like.
And beautiful in the way that Kane gets the shoulder up at like 3.25 right there.
Oh
So
yeah.
he just barely beat him.
Yeah.
And we're going to see here that this feud is not over because
Well,
Taker can take out Paul Bear. It can't be. No.
It can't be. You know, Kane just barely lost. He's beating up the Undertaker.
Yeah, he's going to get the last laugh. He's going to leave Taker laying, which you don't really see.
No.
And you talk about Mankind, that feud was only supposed to be a few months. When they originally thought of this Kane character, it was only supposed to go to WrestleMania. There was just supposed to be just a little feud for Undertaker to do for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But of course, Kane becomes his own Hall of Fame character and gets his own 25-year career.
And Kane always can say he got the Hall of Fame before the Undertaker.
That's right.
A year before, but still before.
He did. He got the bragging rights there.
And here we go, Freddie Blassie again promoting the Inferno match. This is a Freddie Blassie resurgence at this time.
And so, like you said, we had Buried Alive, we saw Boiler Room Brawl, Hell in a Cell, Inferno match. This is a great introductory tape to the Undertaker here. You're getting some of the heavy hitters.
You get the casket, which is not really the first casket match, but a reintroduction into that match.
Exactly. So if this is like your first introduction to wrestling, you probably are like disappointed when you turn into Raw and it's like, oh, where's the cage? Where's the fire? Where's the where's the cemetery? They don't have that every week. Oh man, it's a disappointment.
I wonder how much McMahon had to sell Undertaker and Kane on. Yeah, we're gonna set one of you guys on fire.
I would love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation.
Yeah. I wonder how many times Undertaker might have told Vince to go F himself.
Like take a moment and think about that. These are not professional stuntmen. Like these guys are wrestlers.
Yeah.
And he says, all right, we're gonna set you on fire. You're gonna wrestle in a ring of fire.
You're gonna wrestle in a ring of fire that's gonna eat up your oxygen.
Yeah.
And Kane, you're gonna be wearing a mask through it all.
Yeah. That's a tough sell.
Wow.
And it took a lot of guts for them to go out there and do that and just all right,
sure.
Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens.
Sure. I mean, what are you gonna say? No.
Yeah, I know, right? Definitely not back then.
Yeah. What are you gonna say? No.
Not these two guys either. No way.
No.
And Inferno matches, I don't know about how you feel. They do provide a great visual. They're not great in-ring matches because of what you said, because it's so hot and it's sucking the oxygen out of them. It's tough to really put on a actual entertaining match in it. But the visuals, it's something else. It's pretty surreal.
Oh yeah, the visual's amazing. And it's so chaotic because you never know what's going to happen.
Chaotic's a good word for it. It makes me think of the early SmackDown games where like the ring would literally become like molten lava as the Inferno match went along. They didn't quite nail the aesthetic of the actual Inferno match on those. The casket matches on those games are kind of weird too.
Yeah, you like carry it around like it's like
like it's a steel chair or something.
Yeah. You just throw a casket at somebody's.
Yes.
Oh, good times.
Good times. Yeah, this is a match that looks awesome in video package form.
Exactly.
Watching it back, it's a little tough to watch, but video package form, but just the highlights, it looks incredible.
Yeah. And every time the flames would rise with the moves.
Yes. And it's a perfect, kudos to whoever came up with it, because it just makes perfect sense for the Kane character and the Kane storyline.
Yeah.
It's a great fit.
It is. It really is. Because you think, oh, is Kane gonna actually burn Undertaker? Is he gonna get some sort of revenge?
Yeah. You didn't know how they were going to pull it off.
Yeah, you really didn't know. Is Timmy White? Can't believe we just lost Timmy White the other
I know. What a shame.
It is.
One of the greats.
Yeah.
And the Vader, of course, interfering in here. Oh, to catch the dive over the flames. Come on. What a shot.
Paul Bearer always getting himself involved.
I thought he was going to hit him with his shoe. Signature Paul Bearer shoe shot.
Yeah, but he can't run away with just one shoe.
That's a good point. Yeah. God, so many nasty chair shots in this video.
Oh. Different time.
Different time.
Different time.
Knocked him senseless. And Kane didn't even go down from that headshot. Takes another shot to go down. And Paul Bear's gonna get it on the fun. He's gonna get a little color here.
Yeah, I love. It's just so funny seeing Paul Bear get beat up by musical instruments.
The drum kit.
The drum. Oh man.
And of course, while all that's going on, that's when Kane is sticking his arm underneath the ring to get the little flame retardant stuff sprayed on there, so he can. It's well booked. Well put together. Makes a lot of sense.
That visual of him with the posing with the purple light and the fire.
Oh, yeah. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's the money shot right there. That's what you
build to right there.
Yep. Another just iconic image they reuse in video packages over and over. They got their money's worth out of this stuff.
Yeah. Great camera work to capture it.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. WWF. Yeah. The kings of that.
Now you get the Mankind Hell in a Cell.
Just so, man, this hit after hit after hit in this time period, every single month, an iconic match.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like you can't even remember what was on the last pay-per-view. It was probably the same match for the 7th or 8th time. But back then it was banger after banger after banger.
Yeah. Pulling something new right out of their hats, just set themselves apart.
So would watching this tape, would this have been like your first exposure to the Hell in a Cell match?
It would, no. I saw the Boss Man one.
Okay, but this specific one.
Well, the Mankind, yes.
Okay, yeah.
I thought you meant Hell in a Cell in general.
Right, yeah.
No, because they never replayed this anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no on demand, there was no YouTube, no network.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw this, getting the VHS, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, I remember
I saw Mankind wrestle like during those months, or else I thought we could have killed her.
So I remember I didn't order this pay-per-view live, but watching Raw the next night, they would show the still photos and the clip. Of course, they didn't show the crazy things that we're about to see here, but just watching the photos of it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's insane. And I remember just counting down the days and going to the video store every weekend, looking at the wrestling section. Is King of the Ring out yet? Is King of the Ring out yet? I got to see this match. And finally, when it came out a few months later, taking it home, I just watched this match probably like 3 or 4 times in a row.
I wonder how many people were like that, were like you, just waiting to rent it or buy it just for this match and moment.
That's what you had to do if you didn't watch it live, like you just said. There was no other way.
There was no other way. Oh my God. It's still crazy.
God almighty, he's broken in half. They've killed him. The greatest call in professional wrestling history.
It really is.
It has to be.
It's so iconic. Wow. Now I remember when you mentioned those photos, those still photos, like courtesy of WWF magazine. Like it wants you to buy the magazine to see what happened. I remember that.
Or by the replay of the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Then that was a good way to sell it,
Yeah. Oh, here's what you missed. They tossed Mankind off a cell. You want to see it? Order it.
And it's amazing. 24 years later, a lot of times you'll see spots or you'll see moments that's like, okay, it's been surpassed in the time since then. Like, oh yeah, that was cool for its time, but we've seen bigger things since then. This, it's probably still the greatest bump in professional wrestling history.
Even, just what they did at the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view. It's like, the match that Undertaker and Mankind made famous, and they still show it.
They still show it.
Yeah.
It's still the iconic moment. Lives on to this day.
It's crazy. And then the second one.
Woo! I think Mick has said that one was more painful even.
Yeah, because this chair came down.
The chair laid it on his head.
That's crazy. Undertaker working.
And they always say that one wasn't supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. I think it was supposed to happen eventually. It may not have been supposed to happen right then. He was supposed to go through the cell at some point. Because you see the little zip ties come off of there.
And Undertaker working with a broken foot and him jumping down didn't make that better.
That's another thing people don't talk about. Forget that he was already hurt going into this match.
Yeah. And it's crazy. He would work with a broken foot for like 6 more months.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then a torn groin. As soon as the foot heals.
And then a torn groin. Yeah. And then a torn pec.
Yeah. He needed that time off to go ride his bike around.
Yeah. The universe was not kind to the Undertaker.
It was not, man. And this was the first time in WWE that we'd seen thumbtacks. It's like sort of a common thing in wrestling now, but this was groundbreaking as far as that sort of violence goes.
Sure.
I remember reading that in the magazines and on the internet, like thumbtacks. Oh my gosh. What?
Right.
What? And then like at school, we'd all like try to poke ourselves with the thumbtacks, just like, oh, does it really hurt? Does it really hurt? Yeah, it really hurts.
What kind of children were we? Terrible.
Kids that grew up on wrestling.
Right.
Yeah, that's what kind. And South Park.
And South Park. Oh my God. It's crazy.
It's unbelievable that they wrestled like a 15-minute match after Foley has gone through the cell and all that. And then Foley's going to come out later that night and interfere in the main event.
Interfere in the main event. And not only that, Undertaker's going to follow him right out.
It's wild. The doctors would not allow that today.
Oh.
Probably for the better.
Yeah.
Probably smarter to do that.
Oh, yeah, sure. But what were doctors and people back then? You'll hire somebody to play a doctor.
Would have robbed us of all these great memories.
Yeah, I'm a doctor, as far as you know.
Sure. I play one on TV.
Sure. That's crazy.
And it's crazy that they didn't move the TVs off that announce table when Foley took that play. They didn't think about doing that. He really could have hit, if he lands a few inches the wrong way and hits one of those TVs. I mean, break his back.
God. Yeah.
Aha, here comes Stone Cold. Here's that clip from the main event.
Yeah.
First blood.
We're getting into the Stone Cold feud now.
And it's great how it all kind of just intersects with each other. All these different feuds, all these different guys, they all intersect with each other. Oh, the rare Taker in sweatshirt look.
Yeah, with a broken foot.
There's a figure we could use.
Right?
King of the Ring 98 Taker in his sweatshirt.
It's him in the garb, and then as an extra bonus, you get a sweatshirt you can put on him for his main event appearance.
Look, Mattel's running out of stuff. They're having to re-release old figures in this
Right?
greatest hits line.
Right.
Here's a new figure for you, right?
Give
there.
us a 2-in-1 King of the Ring Undertaker with sweatshirt and chair.
Removable sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And you know what? We'd buy it.
Oh, of course. You have to buy at least 2 so you can make King of the Ring.
Ah, that's true. And you got to have the sweatshirt for the
You gotta
after
have
the
the
match.
sweatshirt.
Dang it. Maybe that'll be one of the Comic-Con releases.
Oh, we can only hope. Because there are plenty of people out there that would love sweatshirt Undertaker.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I would too. Oh, here's the brothers in cahoots.
In cahoots and collusion.
Yes, cahoots and collusion.
That was on Vince McMahon's Word of the Day calendar back in summer of '98.
Yeah, cahoots. Oh, I have to use this somehow in a photo today.
Classic Vince word.
Oh yeah. Old-timey dictionary.
And look, no one's going to argue that Stone Cold is not the biggest superstar of all time, especially during this time period. But you got to have, for the hero, he's got to have a great opponent too. And Undertaker is a huge reason why Stone Cold Steve Austin was as successful as he was, because he could match up with him, and you bought it and you believed it. And this Highway to Hell buildup was one of the best they've ever done.
Yeah. You can't have a good hero without a good villain.
You can't. No, it was essential.
Yeah. And you can't just have McMahon as a villain. You got to have other villains.
You had the great, is Taker with Kane? Is he not? He's kind of a tweener at this time.
Yeah.
So yeah, all that drama and intrigue around there. And, this match, again, it's better in clipped form because Stone Cold gets a concussion pretty early on into it. Him and Undertaker run into each other. So Stone Cold has said before, he doesn't even remember this match because he gets knocked out pretty early into it. But Taker is able to, hold it together like a ring general. He's able to keep everything going.
Yeah. Just the choke slam from the apron to the ring.
Yep. Great move. And we'll see it here in a minute. The big leg drop to the table. Oh, you can see Stone Cold went up pretty heavy for that choke slam. He's not quite all there. Love seeing him fight through the crowd like this.
Yeah.
That was great at WrestleMania this year, seeing Stone Cold and Kevin Owens doing that old school fighting through the crowd.
Yeah, because you don't really see it. You don't see it that much anymore.
You really don't. No.
It's always a Spanish announce table.
Always the Spanish.
Always the Spanish announce table.
I think they could. There's a case for a lawsuit there from the Spanish announcers. Unsafe working environment.
Induct the Spanish announce table into the Hall of Fame.
I'm honestly surprised Vince Russo never did that storyline with the Spanish announcers complaining about unsafe working.
Like how they do with the referees.
Exactly. They had the referee strike. Just incredible. Leg drop off the top through the table.
That shot right there of him coming down. They still use that shot. It's great.
One of the most iconic moments of Undertaker's career right there.
Yeah. You really thought Austin was going to lose it?
He had a chance,
Yeah. It's just going to take a sneaky stunner.
Choke slam first. Throat slash. Love that set at MSG with the gate, like it's the Highway to Hell right there. I love that look.
Oh yeah, like the gates of hell opening up for him.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good. It's so simple but so effective.
Exactly. It's not a giant video wall. It's just simple.
Yeah,
but it works.
It's simple but it works.
There it is. Stone Cold does get the victory there, but fun match.
Yeah.
But their story's not over.
No. You have Undertaker, presenting him with the belt.
Kane backing his brother up.
Oh, here's McMahon now.
I love how bold Vince was with Undertaker. He never learned his lesson. Always got beat up by him, but then always would bow up to him anyway. It always cracks me up. Can't say that anymore.
Just escaping through the crowd, like, get out of my way. I'm the boss.
We'll get some cameos from Val Venus and Tiger Ali Singh, Mark Mero.
You're naming all the A-listers here.
Steve Blackman getting choke slams here. Breakdown in your house.
Oh my gosh. Another one and done pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, one and done. It's like they had to think of something in order to, try. How do we get the title off Austin before we get to Judgment Day or some kind of crap like that?
And this was the stipulation that never quite made sense to me because, okay, Undertaker and Kane can only pin Austin.
Yeah.
But Austin could pin Undertaker and Kane. So doesn't Austin have actually more ways to win than Undertaker and Kane do?
Yes. And then
it's supposed to be a stipulation against Austin. But...
And then by Undertaker and Kane only trying to pin Austin, that means Undertaker and Kane will eventually have to work against each other.
Yeah.
So they have to pin Austin.
No, that one never quite worked out logic-wise, in my opinion. As we see there, Kane's going to pull Undertaker off. He's going to break it.
I mean, it's already falling apart.
Yep. And I believe this was Undertaker's first triple threat match on pay-per-view.
Oh, it could have been.
Yeah, I think he had some on Raw.
It could have been, yeah.
And that's funny to think about because triple threat matches are so common nowadays. It's probably one on every pay-per-view, but it was still pretty rare back then.
Yeah. I mean, they went with the finish, I guess, with the only one they could possibly do.
It's creative.
Well, you know what?
The double pin.
Pin them.
Yep.
We both get the victory, but we won't get the title.
The title is vacant.
Yep.
Double pin there. But Vince doesn't care as long as it's off Austin. He doesn't care who's the champ.
That's right. And instead of making a champion right there, I'll just get the belt. I'm champion now, damn it.
Yep. Mr. Man's going to come get the belt. Oh, the eye piercing on Taker.
Yeah. Very 98 with the thing.
Are there any figures that have the eye piercing on there?
No, I don't think there is anyone with the eye piercing molded on there.
We need that.
We need that.
We need that. We need it. At least an alternate head.
Alternate head for King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Here it is.
So yeah, you're seeing all the storyline of 1998 played out here throughout this tape. It's cool.
And now you get how Vince gets in the wheelchair.
Yeah. Again, I love Vince. He's not scared of Undertaker and Kane, even though he absolutely should be.
I know, right?
He's just
calling them mentally and physically handicapped to their face.
Again, that would not fly nowadays.
No. And then just immediately after being threatened, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to flip him off.
He never learns his lesson.
No. There's a giant Titantron behind me capturing my every move. I'm just going to flip him off in front of a giant Titantron.
And through the years, through 2000, through 2003, it's the same thing. Anytime Vince and Taker are around each other. Even Vince sells it perfectly.
And even with the Shane McMahon feud in 2016.
Yeah, sure.
You're my bitch. Crazy.
Yeah. Taker's sending those shots a little stiff too. Oh, I get a chance to beat up my boss after all this time. I mean, I might lay it in a little bit harder.
I'm not gonna break your leg, but You know, he trusted nobody else but Taker to hit this thing.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, perfectly right at the edge, so it doesn't hit the thing.
And again, we talked about how all this stuff ties together. Because of this, we're gonna get Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon in the hospital. We're gonna get Mr. Sacco because of this moment happening. All these things birth out of these storylines, all being interwoven and connected with each other. That's what made the Attitude Era great.
Yeah.
In-ring stuff, not always great, but
yeah.
The way the characters and the stories came together, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, you can only have so many DQ finishes and run-ins.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
You need a mixture of both. You need the in-ring action that we get in the modern day, but you need the storylines and the characters that we had back in this time.
Yeah. Austin never won for a referee shirt.
No, he's just gonna wear his own shirt.
Yeah, which is available at the merch stand if you would like to buy it.
Hey, smart man.
Right?
Oh, so we're getting like the Van Halen Right Now ripoff, doing as the background for this match. I dig that. Taker and Kane going at it again. Their storyline has been interwoven throughout this whole tape.
Of course. It's a common denominator here.
God, this is a blatant ripoff of Van Halen. This is great.
Well, we're not paying for any music rights here.
Oh, definitely not. But this is probably why it's not on the network.
Well, the network, if they do, they can always do something over it like they've done before. The other things.
Yeah, like they dub over Limp Bizkit and Kid Rock and all that.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel right if it's not Kid Rock playing.
It's not right,
Especially for the Judgment Day debut. You need Kid Rock for the Judgment Day debut.
Absolutely ruined.
It's ruined without that.
100%. Nope. It's ruined.
Yeah, it is.
Pay the money for it. It can't be that much.
He's in your Hall of Fame.
He's in your Hall of Fame. Come on. And during this time, they use the AC/DC Highway to Hell song during that.
Yeah, they don't play that anymore on the network.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's like if you were watching Batman or Star Wars or something, and all of a sudden they changed the whole score.
Oh no,
to
you
it.
can't.
It's like such an important part.
Here's Paul Bearer.
He's got to stick his fat little face into it.
Oh, somebody almost hit him with a plastic cup. Almost got him. I don't know how they missed him.
So close. Yeah. Look at the size of that target, and you're still missing that. Come on. And it's funny, this tape started with Paul Bearer and Undertaker at the Boiler Room Brawl, and now it's coming full circle here.
Full circle.
As
it begins with Paul Bearer leaving the Undertaker, it ends with Paul Bearer joining the Undertaker.
As it does, Yes. Paul Bearer is just at the center of the universe.
He is. He really is the center of the universe.
Sucking everything into his orbit. Paul Bearer thinks he's hot stuff with that chair shot, and Kane didn't even sell it.
I mean, come on, Paul. Come on. He didn't even go down with a headshot from Undertaker.
God, Paul was so good.
Oh, I know.
Oh, another nasty shot to Kane. Jeez.
And just that ministry promo setting up the next couple months.
That's right.
Yeah.
First mentioning of the Ministry of Darkness.
Yeah. Telling you, if you don't join up, those who do not declare will be declared.
Exactly. Whatever that means.
Whatever that means.
I've never been declared. I don't know.
It just sounds good when Undertaker says it. And then you get the adjectives being thrown about the Undertaker from
That's
Freddie
cool.
Blassie and Stephanie.
Yeah. That's a nice touch to end
Yes.
things here.
And then the chorus.
Yeah, the shots of the orchestra and the
Yeah, the
chorus
orchestra.
out there. Yeah. Coming back to how it was at the beginning.
Yeah.
Again, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, you know, when this video came out, and
Oh, it's like the best thing ever.
exactly. You know, I hadn't watched wrestling before, or I'm new to wrestling. I'm new to the Undertaker. I hadn't seen all the stuff. The way this is produced, the way this is made, it's magnificent. You know, that you're sucked in. You want to see more of this. You want to see more of the Undertaker. It's a great starter package and a great introduction to him.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I think I needed, is a whole new, something that gives me a whole new story and whole new backup to what I'm seeing. And the way they produced it and set everything up, just the visuals, the matches they chose, and just everything that they put together with this, it's perfect. It's perfect for somebody like me.
It's a great introduction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody who knows that he's a fan of the Undertaker, but wants to see what Undertaker did before '99. Like what made Undertaker what he is now? What made him the Ministry of Darkness? What made him go against Kane? Why is he with Paul Bearer? All that lead up. It's perfect.
I could go pull a stranger off of the street and bring them into the house and say, watch this, that's never seen wrestling before. And they could tell you the story of the Undertaker, up to this point.
Yeah.
After 1 hour of watching this. And that's really hard to do and really well done, that they're able to cram it all in there in such a entertaining way.
Mm-hmm. And you got Freddie Blassie telling you how the character is. And even a glimpse behind the character, a little bit of how the man is, about all those adjectives, about what he does for the WWF. And then you have, Kane and Paul Bearer, Vince McMahon, Mankind, Stone Cold, all people pivotal to his character work and his matches. And if they just put it in a tight little ball and say, there you go.
Yeah, it's a great introduction to all of those people as well, all those other main characters in the WWF at the time. So,
yeah,
man, I'm so glad you invited me to watch this. And
I'm glad that you said you would. I'm glad it's something different to take a look at, and we did a little bit of figure talk, some stuff we need eye-pierced Undertaker.
We need eye-pierced Undertaker.
King of the Ring sweatshirt Undertaker.
King of the Ring main event run-in sweatshirt Undertaker.
Yeah, we need buried alive 2-pack Undertaker Mankind with like dirty outfit Undertaker.
Oh, that would be an epic Mattel 2-pack.
Yes, you have the gravestone.
Yes, I'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we need. Mattel, you are not out of ideas yet.
Look, there's some San Diego Comic-Con ideas for you, Mattel.
Throwing
it out there, free of charge.
Free of charge. We only ask that you send us free figures.
If you want to send them to us as a little royalty, we'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good.
What better people do you have to promote than Collecting Dead Man and Talking Taker?
None.
Come on, it doesn't get better than that.
Right? None better. Yeah, free ideas of new Undertaker figures, free of charge on this podcast. I mean, come on. It just writes itself.
It writes itself.
Yeah. So anything you want to promote before we wrap this up?
Well, of course, I'll promote Talking Taker podcast. I'm sure if you're listening to Collecting Dead Man, you've heard of us and you've probably listened to us. But we are still chugging along. You are out there doing multiple episodes a week, and we are doing one episode a month at this time. Of course, we've gone through, me and my co-host Travis White, we've gone through the Undertaker's full career. Now we're doing little special episodes once a month. The most recent one out, we looked at some, like I said, those early VHS matches of Undertaker, talking about Undertaker versus guys like Hacksaw Jim Duggan and tag team match with the Ultimate Warrior against Papa Shango and the Berserker and wild stuff like that.
And because of that, I never knew Undertaker and Ultimate Warrior tagged up together.
They teamed up. Yeah. I was
listening to that. I was like, what the heck?
It's pretty wild. You can actually, if you do a little YouTube search on some of their promos together, it's pretty fun.
God, I can only imagine.
Pretty fun to watch that. But then coming up on July 1st, so our new episodes drop on the 1st of every month. So July 1st, we're going to do a 20-year anniversary look back at a match we think is awesome, but I think people sleep on a little bit. It's Vengeance 2002 triple threat between Undertaker, Kurt Angle, and The Rock. So Travis and I are going to do a watch along of that one and talk about our memories of that one and shine a light on that match 20 years later, because we think it gets overlooked, but it belongs in the conversation of some Undertaker's greatest matches. So be on the lookout for that one on July 1st.
Definitely. Undertaker came that close for breaking up The Rock's pinfall.
I know, just a heartbeat away.
That close. I mean, if he really wanted to, he could have. I mean, if he was, just there. But
really neat fact about that one. I don't know if you know this or not, but that it took place in the Joe Louis Arena.
Oh.
And so that is where Undertaker won the WWF Championship for the very first time. And this is the night where he loses the WWF Championship, the original legacy WWE title for the very last time. So it's the first time he ever held it and the last time he ever held it are in that same arena. So it's pretty neat.
You need to make that statistic like your headline.
Yeah.
Podcast.
It's just fun. Like, I'm sure they didn't plan that, but that's so cool that it comes full circle like that.
Right. Wow. That's crazy. As I look forward to your episodes monthly, I can't believe I missed the one with the Druid, but I have to go back.
Yeah. Go back and listen
to that one.
It's all out there.
But your monthly episodes, definitely the highlight of the month, really the beginning of the month. I mean, you kick off the month right away, right there.
Well, I listen to you every week. I always enjoy it. I enjoy the watch alongs with Randy as well. I like that I feel like I come up in all of those watch alongs. So I like that I'm in Randy's head a little bit.
You are. You're always in Randy's head.
And you and me and Randy have a little group chat going on now for looking out for Undertaker merch. So I always enjoy
a 3-way watch along next.
Hey, anytime. I'm ready for it. I'm always ready for it. And I am still on the lookout for another whatever this guy, the bendy Undertaker, the stretch him Undertaker.
The stretch him.
I sent you the one. I haven't seen one since. I look all the time, and I still haven't seen one. But I'm still on the lookout in case I see another one.
Crazy. And you know what the funny thing is? It's probably like a one and done. That probably the first only 2 you saw.
I really think it was.
Yeah. Well, yes, follow Talking Taker on Instagram, Twitter, and make sure to listen to their podcast because they're the foundation of the Collecting Dead Man podcast. And next time, hopefully next time, maybe a 3-way watch along. We'll get it together.
Let's do it.
Yes. Well, as always, Alex, thank you so much for joining me here. And as always, make sure to follow me on Twitter at CollectUpDead, on Instagram at CollectingDeadMan. And if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, Creatures of the Night, same Taker time, same Taker channel, as we take her easy and keep on rolling, baby.
Love it. Thanks, Steven.
Thank you, Alex.